evening, YouTube. I want to say thank you for the minor, yet satisfying increase of 51 to 50 in follower subscriptions. Truly appreciate it. The little things, as they say. And I discovered this when I entered the website and clicked all trading apps on placeprintcorporation.com, and I ultimately saw the YouTube embed feature that we coded in there, intentionally of course, and it showed 51. It was at 50 yesterday, so I was very happy about that, and I wanted to say thank you for that. We have our two apps, the UI Algo and the console Algo, and you might say, oh wow, you're just one of those normal everyday Java Algo Trader programmers. Dime a dozen. I know. I feel the same way. I feel the same way. Dime a dozen. There are a lot of Java trading algo developers out there, and I'm just another one of them. Wannabes. Nothing spectacular. But you guys make me feel like I am when I go from 50 to 51 on the YouTube subscriber count, so I really appreciate it. Thank you. Salud, agua, por mí y mis amigos. Yesterday was a good day. We accomplished a lot. We were able to eliminate uncertainty in the pricing of our future options. And we set a goal for ourselves. We set a goal to eliminate unknown decimal points, unknown roundings, to clarify and clear and sensitize and sanitize our options, our future options. And we did that. Could there be more improvement? Of course, always. And we need to set us a new goal. Excuse me. We need to set a new goal. We need to set a goal to eliminate these errors. We're seeing this error code against symbol 200 and 300. We're getting a symbol, no security definition has been found. We don't want to be getting that. That's very bad. It means one of the instruments that we're looking for doesn't exist. But that is not, it should not be a reality. Excuse me. It should not be a reality. Because every contract we look for should be known. And when I say known, I'm saying it should be predefined. We use, in many cases, ticker ID for the tick option computation, which we discussed yesterday. The security option definition optional parameter the security definition optional parameter integer required ID string exchange int underlying condition ID string trading class. This element is a very volatile aspect of the code. I have a lot of concern about this function that we have here. Really, a lot. Because it's got... it's just... I don't even remember when I coded it. I remember I was in an office working, but it was an unrelated job, and I was an amateur. And I still am. Still am. There's no doubt about that. So let's get started. Let's do some coding. Let's get into it here. Let's define a goal. Let's stop being why are we why I didn't run a code. I didn't press run. Why are you moving? So here's what I want to say before we start coding. Number one, I want to say two things. Okay, out of two things, I thought of this before I started the stream, and I decided these two things I wanted to say, even though I almost ignored them. Number one, I want to acknowledge the fact of get the frog first. I drank alcohol a lot when we streamed, and I've drank today. And I say this from my own recollection and memory more than anything, as far as coding skill. Now, did I drink above any excessive amount? No. No, of course not. You know, what the guideline is what? One drink per hour metabolized to drink water. So I try and follow those guidelines, of course. And as you can see, I'm drinking a lot of water now because we're working. But it is December 24th at 11:27 p.m. Pacific time, and if you consider that on the 25th, it's Eastern time, which is where I am. Okay, happy holidays, Feliz Navidad, great. It was fun, great. Okay, moving on. I think that my production in the week up to yesterday was lacking in really being excellent. It was not excellent. My production for the past 2 weeks has been poor, been very bad. And I think that yesterday was the pinnacle of excellence as far as I'm concerned when I come to operational standpoint, because I actually made the goals and accomplished them. I wanted to eliminate. We started 5 days ago. We remember. Take yourselves 5 days back, literally, and think about the code that we had. We had code from 2018 that I wrote when I was working at a granite store, selling granite kitchens, and I'd excuse me, did you want to order a kitchen? Okay, let me stop this. And you may recall some of the old videos we have back in the day when I was running the Algo, which is basically the Jan 12, 2018 that you see in the eclipse there, right to the left, to the right of FOP 1213. I was writing this code when I was working in the granite store, and this is great because business was slow, and so I had a lot of opportunity to write great code, and it was very exciting because I remember saying one day, like, I'm just going to write some algos to trade options. The problem was the 3-day rule. Everybody knows it. Options below. That's why we're doing FOPs. We'll talk about that later. We have a lot of work to do to get the cash in here and make it happen, but it'll be fine. We got plenty of work to do. We're not in any rush to waste money on bad trades anymore. Everybody knows it. It's easy to do. I am personally trying to do it for myself. Minimal investment in my own self in terms of cash, and get good code. Then and put the code in, put the cash in, put them together, and say, okay, let's see what happens. Do daily updates, just like we do now. Pretty much, you've seen how far we've gotten in 5 days. It's far. We used to be using 2018 code, and that code was for stocks. And those stocks that we were trading, they didn't all get called. And I remember looking at this as it executed back then and saying, why aren't these tickers ever appearing? Why am I not seeing orders for them? Why am I only seeing orders for this security? Why am I not seeing these orders? But I'm seeing like 30 securities come through on my options. As you recall, we had a lot. CL, Colgate, Activision, Blizzard. I mean, we had everything. Procter & Gamble. I mean, I think we even had Berkshire Hathaway tickers come through. And we had tickers for everything. Gold, GLD. I mean, we were trading stock options, and we try and put these in, and we get some good trades. I'm sure you remember some of them were really cool and good. And the worst times were when I intervened. And we need to make sure I don't intervene in the next codes when they're trading. But The question is, has James ever traded algos on live markets? Has he? The answer is yes, I have. On this same API we're using today, the source code we're using, I actually used it on stocks. I'm amending it to future options because I'm trying to think for the future instead of trying to appease my current account value, which is pathetic and low, as many of you may have seen. I mean, it's terrible. I mean, I'm not trying to hide it. I'm a terrible trader when I get into it because I'm not afraid to put 100% of the portfolio onto one position, because a lot of the time I actually do really well. I can take an account from 150 to 550 overnight, right? 2 nights. 400% return. But what was the problem? Why can't I capitalize? Well, number one, it's after hours. Number two, you have limited day trades. Am I making excuses for my failures? Yes, absolutely. But are they valid concerns? Future options, they have limited closing. They close at, Friday, 5 p.m., 4 p.m., whatever they are. We actually need to know that before we go really live. We need to know the hours because we need to code after this time. But we're not there yet. We still need to get a lot. But if you think 5 days ago, what did we have? When I was in Mexico, a lot of you know that are keeping up with this, that very few, like I said, we have 51. If you are keeping up with this and I have a high quantity of subscribers to watchers and follower-uppers, then that's good. If 5 of you are watching and I have 10% retention, well, I'm happy. But is it likely? No. I'd be happy with a 1% retention. But prove me wrong. Make me happy. But I need to satisfy you with codes and satisfaction of orders and prove that you can build algos incredible, and you can compete with the same algo traders at a prop firm, Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, JP Morgan, and write better codes even, maybe. Maybe because you're more creative, or you even have more experience in the instruments than these people. I don't know. These are all possibilities, or may have better experience from co-workers who don't work at these firms but are very talented but haven't been found. These are all possibilities. And is it my ambition to be the best algo trader in the world? Well, absolutely. Of course it is. And that is the goal we'll set for the 10-year plan. But we need to set goals for the now. And that is the question we have been doing. 5 days ago, we had, in Mexico, no securities except one. One security. If we put the NASDAQ or we put the S&Ps. Whichever in the first symbol. Whatever you had in the first symbol, our symbol structure, it would load. I'm procrastinating. One developer is nails, the other one is a little questionable, but he's creative and he's affordable, and that he delivers really good things. So the codes in our subscription links and the codes in our subscribe link and commentary to bio description area, I wrote all those codes up. I'm pretty, as my friend says, dangerous when it comes to coding, and he's a professional computer science engineer from the University of Cincinnati. So I actually do take that as a compliment to him. Thank you. And I always ask him to help me on these algos. He's like, no. He's in Mexico, and he rode his bicycle about 600 miles deep in Mexico, and it was perfectly fine. He loved it, and he made it to Guadalajara, which is a city in Mazatlan, and he had a great time. He took the ferry from La Paz across the Baja California Baja California, Mexico, took the La Paz ferry across with his bicycle to Mazatlan, and he took his bike down to Guadalajara, which took about 4 or 5 days. And he's a computer science engineer, and he's clearly he's out there. And you could say I am too. Anybody that's on YouTube is out there, literally out there on YouTube, on the links, out there. And that's something to remember, for sure. So I'm trying to tone it down, trying to be political and not politically correct. I'm trying to be political. I want to get to the second point. I said in the first point that I've been wanting to talk about something, alcohol. And there's a notice to be said. I had a good day yesterday, and I didn't drink alcohol. And that is impressive, and we did a lot of progress. Because 5 days ago, we didn't have any tickers except the NASDAQ or the S&P, whatever we put in the first symbol. And then we changed it out, and we put the new codes, and now we have the new symbols. We have the euro, we have the pound, the Australian dollar, we have the S&P, the NASDAQ, all coming through on the same algo run. And now we said, next, let's get the calls and the puts to be actual prices that are supposed to be real, because in the previous past, when we executed it, it was not real. It were random prices. Random prices for another security. They weren't matched up to the right instrument, so we matched them up. We did that, and we said, all right, we got the call, we got the puts. Boom. Now we get the prices, and the prices. We got the prices for the S&P, the NASDAQ for the calls of the puts, which is a great improvement. Then we said, well, we need to take it a step further, and we need to get the currencies too, because they have .00052 as their pricing instead of 1300.50 as we do for the NASDAQ and the S&P. And that has been the progression that we've seen. And alcohol is important. I love it. And you need to come visit everything in Cincinnati. The breweries here are the best. Anyways, next step, ask me about that if you really care about the breweries in Cincinnati. I can tell you a lot about them. Anyways, get into the business of the second point, the politics. I want to be very brief, and I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. I do need to code a little bit. It's already 3 a.m. here in the East Coast. And I just want to say one thing. Politics. This is the second thing of our 2 bullet points. Politics. Keep it brief. Everybody has different view on politics. The worst people to get opinions from politics are comedians and music. Do not get opinions from music or comedians, because they are artistic and they have beautiful art, but they are not intended to be taken literally. Now, comedians can bring some very satirical attention to serious issues, without a doubt, but they're not to be taken literally, please. Politics, you may say, what does this guy know about politics? He's a terrible person to take for politics. He has awful ideas, and he's closed-minded. Like I said at the start of this channel, I'm just your everyday, normal Java developer writing trading algos. I'm just him. I'm normal, average algo Java trader, right? Attempt to be wannabe. So like I said, don't take my politics too seriously. And I haven't even got to my stance. I'm just making a disclaimer to basically remove any concerns, doubts. I'm trying to make a disclaimer like any other politician would. But even though I'm not a politician, nor do I have any intentions to be, this ad is not sponsored by anyone. Contact your financial advisor. We are talking about trading instruments. I am not a financial advisor. Do not take any of my information as advisement or recommendations on a position. Contact your financial advisor for all information regarding your capital, and be smart out there. Now, regarding politics, does the GOP deserve to win the majority in the Senate? That's the question I have. And today at my family party, I was frustrated. I said, no, they don't deserve to win it. Did I mean that? Did I mean that they really don't deserve to win it? I hope they prove me wrong. But the way they're behaving right now, they're vetoing. Okay, first of all, is the spending that in a COVID relief bill not related to COVID? Quote unquote COVID, schmovid. I shouldn't even say that word. This video might get flagged for some crazy stuff. Relief bill. Does it have a lot of stuff in it that might not be relief related to the subject at hand? Possibly. Very possibly. Probably a fact. Do I care about that stuff? No. I don't care. Do you want to send $700 million to Sudan? Yes. Fine. Please be my guest. Do you want to send $10 million to Pakistan? For whatever you want. I don't care. Send it. Send them the money they request formally in paperwork. One piece of paper that says a sincere request. We need this help. Please, you guys are the United States. Please, for the love of God, help us. Yes, do it. Do it. I don't care. But we don't need to tiptoe around the subject matter and act as if we have to be a normal, everyday person with the federal level policy of fiscal and monetary. What I mean is government is not the same as a person.